This is Patrick Horgan, considered as one of the greats of modern hurling. Cork's all-time leading top scorer at this point in time, a player who has delivered at the highest level for more than 2 decades. And yet, one question mark will forever shadow his name. The true holy grail of inter-county hurling, an All-Ireland medal, never came his way. Patrick didn't build his reputation on one season or one big moment. He built it on consistency, on responsibility, on scoring when Cork needed him most. This video isn't about questioning Patrick Horgan's place in the game. It's a reminder that while he never won an All-Ireland, greatness isn't always defined by medals alone. Through unmatched consistency and reliability, he became one of the most dependable forwards the game has ever known, a form of greatness that deserves to be properly understood.
When it comes to the small ball, our guest today is one of the greatest forwards of his generation.
Patrick Horgan, born on September 1st, 1988, and grew up in Churchfield on the north side of Cork City. That matters, because many hurling stories begin in quiet rural fields, with a young boy, a wall ball, and a hurl. Patrick Horgan's story doesn't. He grew up in a city environment, competitive, busy, demanding. And from an early age, he became part of a club where standards weren't suggested, they were enforced. Glen Rovers isn't just successful, it's unforgiving. If you're good, you play. If you're not, someone else takes your place. There's no room for reputation, only output. And that environment shaped everything about Hoggy. Patrick Horgan came through underage with Cork, but here's the part people forget. He wasn't hyped as the next big thing. He wasn't labelled a generational talent at 16. He didn't arrive with headlines attached to his name. What he did arrive with was reliability. Coaches trusted him because he made the right decisions. Teammates trusted him because he took responsibility. Selectors trusted him because he delivered exactly what was asked of him. And in hurling, that trust is everything, as we will soon learn later in the video. While others chased moments, Horgan built habits. And habits last longer than hype. Those habits didn't appear by accident. They were built through an obsession that started early.
How his early days with Cork, and he was saying that he overtrained and he'd get down to the pitch at 5 o'clock for a 7 o'clock training, and he'd be training for 4 hours, and at one point they actually had to bar him from the pitch and close the gates and wouldn't let him in for a while.
Patrick Horgan made his senior championship debut for Cork in 2008, and this is important. He didn't walk into the team as Cork's saviour. There was no sense that everything would suddenly change. Instead, he was introduced carefully, given time, given responsibility, in pieces. But once he earned it, he never gave it back. Because one thing became clear very quickly. When Cork needed a score, Patrick Horgan was the man they looked to. This is where Patrick Horgan separates himself, not with speed, not with flash, but with precision. From freeze, from play, from angles that shouldn't really be angles at all. And under pressure, that's where he looks most comfortable. By 2013, everything felt like it was lining up for Cork.
He be the match winner. Will this?
Patrick Horgan was coming into his prime, confident, accurate, trusted. Cork powered their way through Munster, beating Waterford in the final, a statement win that sent a message across the country. Suddenly, Cork weren't just competing, they were contenders. In the All-Ireland semi-final, they faced Dublin. A physical, tense game, the kind where momentum swings matter. Cork came through it, and with that win, Patrick Horgan was heading to an All-Ireland final, hurling's biggest day, with belief growing game by game. Then came Clare. The first final was chaos. Scores traded, momentum shifting, nothing settled. It ended in a draw, the kind of game that convinces you fate still has something left to give. But the replay told a different story. Clare took control early, a debut every GAA player dreams of. Shane O'Donnell enters the chat, scoring a hat-trick. Cork struggled to find rhythm. And despite the effort, despite the belief built over months, the chance slipped away. For Patrick Horgan, it was a brutal lesson. You can do everything right. You can build momentum. You can arrive in form. And still walk away empty-handed. It's a moment that doesn't define his career, but it explains it.
Hoggy is Cork's all-time leading scorer.
He's also one of the highest scorers in Championship history. 58 goals, 1,357 points in 17 seasons. Just let that sink in for a moment. That's an average of 9 points per game, sustained over nearly 2 decades at the highest level. And he didn't do it in dominant teams. He did it through rebuilds, through management changes, through seasons when Cork weren't favourites. No theatrics, no delay, just a routine that doesn't change, even when the stakes do. Set, strike, score. Some forwards thrive on chaos. Patrick thrives on certainty. Anyone can score when everything is working. Very few keep scoring when it isn't. Cork went through difficult periods during Horgan's peak years. That's not criticism, it's context. Teams changed, momentum stalled, pressure increased, and in those moments, some players shrink. Patrick Horgan didn't. He stayed disciplined, he stayed consistent, he stayed obsessed. There's a reason for that, and we'll come back to it. He didn't disappear when Cork struggled. He took responsibility. And responsibility is the heaviest jersey in sport. And with that weight still on his shoulders, another chance came. 8 years after 2013, after rebuilds, near misses, and seasons of carrying expectation, Patrick Horgan was back on hurling's biggest stage, the 2021 All-Ireland final. This wasn't a young forward with nothing to lose. This was a leader, a scorer, a man who had waited nearly a decade for another opportunity. And for large parts of that season, Cork looked ready. Momentum built, belief returned. The journey felt different this time. But finals don't reward belief. They demand perfection. Limerick found another gear. Cork couldn't match it. And after another 75 minutes, Patrick Horgan walked away from Croke Park for the second time in his career, knowing he had reached the summit again and fallen just short. Not because he wasn't good enough, not because he didn't deliver, but because of an unbeatable 4-in-a-row All-Ireland winning Limerick team. Addiction, obsession, delusion. 3 words that usually carry a warning. But in elite sport, they can be advantages. Because at the highest level, normal isn't enough. The difference between good and great is often found in the margins, the tiny details nobody else sees. Patrick Horgan has spoken openly about how particular he is, about the feel of the hurl in his hands, about striking drills repeated again and again, about adjusting grips, about making sure every detail is exactly right. Not sometimes, every time.
Like I remember times I was putting my day like into a hurley, like, and not just one day. This could be days. Like the handle, regrip, sand it, regrip, tape. Like it could be going on for weeks. Bands, where are they? Are they up higher on the boss? Are they lower? Where's the weight?
To the outside world, it can look excessive. Why that hurl? Why that routine? Why that repetition? But that's the point. The great ones don't leave it to chance. They chase control the way others chase moments. And what some might call obsession is often just discipline, taken further than most people are willing to go. Patrick Horgan didn't stumble into being Cork's all-time top scorer. He practiced it into reality. Through repetition, through detail, through standards that never slipped. Because when the game is on the line, certainty doesn't come from talent. It comes from obsession.
That's why I'm still playing. I love playing. I'm still obsessed with the game and have been since I was 9. Magic. Keep your spirit.
2024, Cork were back in the conversation. They fought their way through Munster. They showed resilience. They showed belief. And in July, they stood in Croke Park once again. An All-Ireland final against Clare.
Pucked out by Ever Quilligan, just kept in by Niall O'Leary.
It was tight. It was tense. It was decided by the smallest margins. Extra time. Moments either side could have taken. But Clare edged it. For Patrick Horgan, it was another final that came painfully close. Another reminder of how thin the line is at the top. And then came 2025. This time it felt different. Not because the pressure was lighter, but because the opportunity felt rarer. By now, Horgan wasn't chasing recognition. He wasn't chasing numbers. He was chasing one thing: an All-Ireland medal. Cork battled their way back again, game after game, challenge after challenge. And when they reached the final, this time against Tipperary, the narrative wrote itself. Experience, leadership, nearly 2 decades of carrying responsibility. Standing on the Croke Park turf once more, this wasn't just another final. It felt like a closing chapter. The first half was tense, controlled, within reach. But finals are ruthless. Tipperary found another gear. Cork couldn't respond. And as the game drifted away, so did the opportunity. When the whistle blew, there was no collapse, no theatrics, just acceptance. Another final, another near miss. Not because he wasn't good enough, but because sometimes, even when you stay obsessed, even when you stay disciplined, even when you stay great, the game doesn't give you everything back.
Patrick Horgan, or Hoggy as he's affectionately called in Cork, announced his retirement from inter-county hurling in a statement on social media today. The 37-year-old from Glen Rovers in Cork City has played for 17 seasons at the top level, winning 4 Munster Hurling Championships, 4 All-Stars and 1 National Hurling League medal. In that time he scored an amazing 32 goals and 683 points in the championship, 26 goals and 674 points in the league. But the one medal that eluded him was the All-Ireland, although he played in 4 finals in Croke Park. Patrick Horgan has given incredible service to his county and is an iconic figure on Leeside and is much admired by all in the GAA nationwide.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe Patrick Horgan's story was never about chasing a perfect ending. It was about standards, about showing up year after year, about repeating the same routine when nobody was watching, about carrying responsibility without ever asking for anything in return. He didn't stay great because of medals. He stayed great because he refused to lower the bar. From Churchfield to Glen Rovers to Croke Park, the obsession never changed. The routine never changed. The standards never changed. And maybe that's what real greatness looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, just relentless. Patrick Horgan doesn't need an ending to define him. The numbers are there, the performances are there, the respect is there. And long after the finals fade, long after the debates move on, one thing will remain true. For nearly 2 decades, when Cork needed a score, Patrick Horgan delivered. And sometimes, that's more than enough. Patrick Horgan doesn't have the medal haul of some hurling legends. That's true. But here's the real question. Do medals define greatness, or do performances? Because if consistency matters, if pressure matters, if longevity matters, then Patrick Horgan's case is stronger than many people admit. Not loud, not flashy, but undeniable. So we'll ask it one more time. Is Patrick Horgan the greatest never to win an All-Ireland? Or is he simply proof that greatness doesn't always come with All-Ireland medals? Sometimes it comes with responsibility. Drop your verdict in the comments and tell us who OverCarry should cover next.